We went from 0 to 1K days with this new TikTok ads method that we developed, and I can almost guarantee you that if you're not using this strategy, you definitely should, because this can take your Shopify literally from 0 to $1,000 days, or if you even have an e-commerce brand, this is going to be the strategy you want to use. What's up, y'all? It's your favorite digital marketer here, Chappell, and I'm back with another video that you're not gonna wanna miss. We're literally covering exactly how we took this brand new Shopify store all the way from $0 per day up to $1,100 to $1,200 in daily revenue, all from TikTok ads, which is pretty incredible because it was only within a 30-day timeline that we were able to make this happen for this brand. So this strategy is pretty impactful, and it's absolutely insane the results that you can get with this strategy, and I'm gonna break down every metric behind it. So just to show you a little bit about this, we started around the 3rd with this actual account here, and you can see that they were doing $0 per day with this brand new store. And we started running TikTok ads. There was a couple sales every day, and then we started to really dial in the campaigns. And you can see from there forward, every single day was just growing and growing and growing. And now every single day we're averaging literally 1K days. And it's pretty incredible because you can actually see here, $1,000 day, $800 day, $1,200 day. This is $1,000 day almost. Every single day hitting almost $1,000 a day with literally just about $200 in ad spend, and being able to get a pretty incredible return on ad spend from that. And you can see here that the actual online store conversion rate has quite literally exploded, and they tried other platforms, but they just weren't getting the success. But once we implemented this TikTok ad strategy, results absolutely took off, making their store convert way better and us hitting the actual audiences we need. And that's exactly what we're gonna be covering, is the exact campaign breakdown in TikTok. So when we hop over into our TikTok ads manager, you can see quite literally here, we spent about $257 to make $1,200 with TikTok ads. And there's 2 campaign structures that we really focused on here in our TikTok ads manager. And that is our open testing campaign and our actual retargeting campaign. Open testing is where we're going after new individuals that haven't heard about the brand before, so that way we can reach them and people will convert from that. And then once we've built up that avenue, we use what is called a retargeting audience, where we retarget those people who have already watched the video, who've actually clicked on the ad, and actually get them to re-engage with that same content to actually make a purchase. And I'm gonna show y'all how to set up these exact campaigns that we're using to be successful with TikTok ads. And just to show you some more data here, we're averaging, really low cost per CPMs, around the $4 range. That means for every 1,000 people we reach, we're making, about $4 to spend to reach those 1,000. And then cost per click is, really low, below the $1 mark. Most of you are running Facebook ads and have a very high cost per click. And this is a good strategy because we've literally, are reaching a ton of people every single day. And on average, we're doing anywhere between 8 and 15 conversions with this actual campaign. And here are our average cost per result. And then we have, our add to carts. We're getting a lot of add to carts, so that's a big opportunity, which is why I'm gonna show y'all how to set up this actual retargeting. So when we go into our open testing, we have different audiences that we set up. And there's really 3 audiences that are really impacting this performance. And these are what we call mixed stacks. And that's where we combine different layers of interest, behaviors, hashtags, and I'm gonna show y'all how all of that works right through this video. So let's go ahead and start setting up this campaign, so that way y'all can start actually generating sales, because we scaled this campaign up once it was actually profitable, and it's absolutely crushing it, and I wanna show y'all how we broke it down. So first step is we're going to go ahead and hit create. And we're going to create a conversions campaign. The reason we want to choose conversions is because we want to optimize for our goal. If our goal is to increase sales and drive more revenue for our business, so that way we can get a really nice profit, then we 100% want to focus on conversions and nothing else. We don't care about just driving traffic to our site. We're not too worried about reach campaigns. We're automatically going to be driving traffic and reach all from our conversions campaign. So we're really covering 3 bases with one, and we're achieving the goal that we want because we're showing the TikTok algorithm how to optimize towards the actual individual that is most likely to convert. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna name our campaign, and we can name this campaign ad testing. And this can be our testing campaign. This is where we're going to go after individuals who are brand new. We're gonna hit continue. And then in here, we're going to actually set up our ad group, and this is where we can adjust the actual placements for what platforms we want to target. If we're going to go after TikTok, then that is the placement that we'll actually go after and focus on. And the promotion type is the next step. This is where we actually decide where we're going to be driving this traffic and conversions to, and that's going to be our website. So we choose website, we'll choose our pixel. Once we've selected our pixel, we're going to go ahead and choose to optimize for a complete payment. The reason we want to optimize for a complete payment is because we want to make sure that these people are actually purchasing, and we can track that back to TikTok. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to turn off automatic placements. And we're going to turn off the newsfeed app series, because this is just going to reach, third-party articles, and is going to reach international. And our audience is really going to be focused on one country specifically, and we don't need to reach a bunch of areas outside of that country. So it's not necessary for us to target these things. And we know the TikTok audience, so we want to focus on that placement. So we're going to limit it to TikTok only. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to decide whether or not we're going to keep user comments or video downloads. This is a really important step that a lot of people mess up, and you have to decide on one or the other. Both strategies can work, but you have to know when to decide to use them. The first one is keeping user comments on. User comments on can help you increase conversions as long as you're very interactive in the comments, because TikTok's community loves to comment. You can get flooded with actual engagements and comments, and people are going to be, going at it in the comment section, positive, negative. There's going to be a lot of stuff going on in the comment section. So it can help boost your overall engagement and give you a much better conversion rate and drive a lot more traffic to your actual site. But it's only beneficial if you're actually responding to questions in the actual comment section. You're providing more information on the product that they're asking about or the service, and you're actually interacting within that actual community on the comment section. If you're not able to actually do that or provide, the capacity of time to focus in on the comment section, then it'll do more harm than good for you to leave the comments on and just allow everyone to comment and have no responses at all. You got to be very interactive in the comment section if you decide to leave this on. In our case, we're going to turn it off because we're not able to, have a full amount of time focused on this comments, but I 100% recommend if you do have the time, you certainly keep it on. But both strategies can work really well. It works, you'll get higher conversion rates. If you're not able to respond, then you turn off the comments, that'll help. Now, if you are able to respond, leave the comments on. So if you can or can't, that's the direction you're gonna go. And so in our case, we're not gonna focus on the comments, so we'll turn that off. And the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna scroll down to the actual audience, and we're gonna decide on our audiences for our targeting. Now, TikTok recommends different interests. They recommend above, on average, anywhere above 10 interests, sometimes 14, sometimes 16. It really all depends. Usually their algorithm's pretty good in detecting the categories to go after. And we want an audience size that's, around the 14 million mark ideally. So that way we have enough individuals that we can go after and target. And in our case, for the actual age, this product is being sold to people who are in relationships. And so therefore we want to focus on people who are likely to be in a relationship that actually have the wherewithal to make a purchase. And in our case, they're going to be above the age of 18. So we're going to check these boxes. And then we're going to leave the genders open because, girlfriend, boyfriend, or spouse, or anyone who is in a relationship, whether they're friends or just family, they can actually, be both genders. It doesn't really matter. We're going to leave it on all because we're not going to exclude anyone here. We're going to get better results this way, so we'll leave that alone. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to leave the languages alone. And now we're going to go based off of TikTok's recommendation first. This is the first audience. We'll always accept TikTok's recommendations. And then the next audiences, we're going to get specific on our own targeting. So in this case, we're going to hit select all, and we're going to accept basically their recommendations. And, based off of our actual TikTok pixel being connected, they're going to identify what category we're in. They're going to get a good understanding of the actual business model that we have. And the system's going to plug in audiences that are around that specific space. So I mentioned earlier that this is a relationship-based product, and you can see romance is already in there. Home decor is in there, which is really interesting. And a lot of other stuff that starts to revolve around that. People that are in relationships might work out together. They might be having their daily life together. There's a lot of different factors here. So TikTok has already adjusted this for us. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to continue to scroll down and we're going to turn our daily budget to $20. The reason we set it to $20 is because that is the minimum threshold we can do with TikTok. And we want to basically test our audiences starting at 20. And we want to give it a few days to see if we get any purchases. And if we do, we'll look at increasing the budget from there. The next thing we're going to do is make sure our conversion objective is set to conversions and lowest cost, because we want to maximize the number of results we get. So we basically want to spend our budget fully and get the maximum number of results. And so this is going to allow us to consistently be growing our overall sales, as you saw in that actual Shopify graph earlier, showing the actual revenue climbing over the course of a month. That's exactly what we want to do with our actual TikTok ads, which is going to be awesome. So now we've done all of these settings correctly, and we'll just double check everything. And since we have a ton of audiences in here, we can just name this the mix stack. And believe it or not, Facebook is very different from TikTok in terms of targeting capabilities. I literally remember the first time that we started running TikTok ads about a year ago. We came onto the platform and we're like, we're going to use our Facebook ad strategies for TikTok and we're going to crush it. And we literally couldn't get any campaign to work at all based off our strategies with Facebook on TikTok. And we pretty much came to the conclusion that TikTok is very different in terms of its targeting capabilities. So you have to, play to the strengths of their algorithm, because that's going to allow you to maximize results. And that's exactly what we're doing here today, because after all this amount of time that we've had to actually spend on all of these accounts that we've been running, we've figured out pretty successfully what strategies work and what strategies don't. And so let's go ahead and continue right along here. The next step from here would be creating the actual content. We're not going to cover the content now. We're going to cover that later. And we're going to focus on the other audiences that we were going over earlier. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and go to our campaigns and we'll continue to create another actual audience. So that way we can actually, generate results through additional testing audiences. And essentially what we'd want is to have about 3 different audiences in testing. So that way we can get some results going. And we would name our campaign, name our ad group, and we'll choose all of these settings again. So if you remember, you're just going through and choosing those exact same settings. The only thing that's going to change this go around is the actual audience targeting. And in this case, we're going to now, instead of taking TikTok's recommendation, I'm going to show you a hashtag strategy that is super powerful, where you can literally target your competitors' results, take their organic traffic and direct it to your site to convert. This is literally like old days Facebook, where you can quite literally steal competitors' traffic, steal their results, and get so many sales off of all of the actual views that they've built up, which is absolutely crazy. And so what we'll do is we'll do a hashtag. So think about what product you're selling and find out, what hashtags these individuals might be searching. And in our case, we're selling a relationship-based product, and that's being shipped to them. And in this case, what we want to do is find out, what hashtags that people who are in relationships might be using. And the most obvious one initially is going to be the relationship hashtag. So that's what we will use in our case. And so you'll see a couple of results popped up here: relationship tips. That's fine, because if people are interested in relationship tips, they're obviously interested in relationships. Relationship reading, TikTok users who watch videos with the relationship reading hashtag. That's fine. We can also target that. It has relationship in it if they're reading about books and relationships, or actually, looking into it online with articles. That works as well. So we'll come up with, maybe couples, where there might be somebody in a relationship, a couple. So this one's a quite large audience. It's about 50 million. That's a huge audience. We might want to find some more specific hashtags here. Yeah, we could even do couples workouts, because we know that fitness recommendation earlier was in there, and that is an actual thing. And we can also go ahead and type these hashtags in on TikTok and just look at the videos ourselves. And if it looks like the type of audience that we're going to be going after, then 100% we can use those hashtags. So we'll go ahead and choose a couple of more here. We're going to remove couple in our case, so that way we can just get a little bit more specific audience and then make it bigger there. So couples workout is in there. We can also do people who watch couples prank. Okay, that's pretty good. That adds about 4 million people. We want to get to that 14 million range, which is a very nice sweet spot for having not too many individuals in your audience, but not too little, because that is, a good spot to be in for being able to not only scale, but also have enough data to work within. And then some other things that, people in relationships might be doing, we can think of, like dating. It might be dating. So let's see. We can choose some of these individual audiences here. Dating profile, that's another one. Dating show. And we can find some additional audiences outside of dating maybe, where they have been in long-term relationship. That might be a really long hashtag, but we can see. Too long. We could do additional audiences around relationships, some more ideas that we can pull in. If we go to TikTok, I'm going to show you another strategy here. We can click on discovery, and there we go. Date night. That was perfect, actually. So we could type in date night. That's amazing. Let's see if it populates. Doesn't look like date night's going to show up for us. Oh, there it is. Date night outfit, that works. Date night makeup, that could work potentially as well. That means they're going out. That works. That gets us to a pretty good audience size. We still need a couple more. And the way we find more hashtags from here is by clicking on a video. Hashtags boyfriend, there you go. Gift ideas, that's perfect. We could even do, if they're buying gifts, that's amazing, because we know that that means anybody interested in that hashtag obviously has an inclination to buy gifts, which is the exact thing that we would want for our audience. We can keep going. This one is hashtag couple. We have that one, and we can go to the next one, which is, let's see here, travel, date ideas. We already have that. We could even do married. That works. Married gamers. Sure. All right, so we have about a 12 to 15 million sized audience here, which we have our hashtags. Once we've added a few hashtags, we can finally start to, continue on here, which is actually adding in our budget. And then once that's finished, all we need to do is just continue on to the actual ad level and hit create. And that is our next audience. So we're gonna do one that is one for mixed stacking, and then one for the actual hashtag strategy. And those are the two audiences that we're gonna go after. And that can be really great for our testing. We can also do a third audience, which is, using more categories or coming up with a different set of hashtags that aren't so directly related to the actual product, but finding things that people might be engaging with that audience is necessarily interested in. Like it could be, people who are in relationships might be more interested in looking at home items, decor, because they're trying to, make their place more homey feeling for them to stay together. There's lots of different ideas we can come up with in this case and find hashtags. And that's the exact strategies that we're covering here. So that way you can maximize your overall results. This hashtag targeting capability is absolutely incredible, and I highly recommend you use this because the results are insane. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to our campaigns again, and we're going to launch our retargeting audiences. And so as you can see, our retargeting audiences is here, and our retargeting audience is getting good results. We want to launch our retargeting audience after about 2 weeks of running our testing campaign, so that way we can build up enough data, because once you do, you can see that we're getting a 3.75x ROAS on this audience, which is actually likely a little bit higher because not every single conversion is fully tracked by TikTok. And that's going to mean that we're getting a really good return, and we can actually scale that audience up and get amazing results. And I'm going to show you all exactly how to create the same retargeting campaign. So very similar setup, except what we're going to do this time is once we've actually chose our conversions, we're going to name it retargeting. We're going to hit continue, and we're going to choose our pixel again and choose complete payment. Next thing we'll do is select our placements. We're going to choose TikTok only. We're going to turn off user comments again. If we know that we're not going to be responding to comments, then 100%. If you are going to be responding, keep them on because it will help improve performance. Next thing we're going to do is scroll down, choose our age range like usual. And then instead of choosing interest and behaviors, we're going to leave this out, and we're going to focus on this section here where it's actually where our audience is. And we can actually create new. And this will populate our audience section on TikTok Manager where we can create these audiences. And so TikTok has a lot of really cool potential options here, and I'm going to show you exactly which ones I recommend you to start out with, so that way you can have a good enough audience size pool to where you're spending budget on it and getting good results. We're averaging anywhere between 3, 4, 5, even 10x ROAS with these audiences, and there's so many more you can create outside of that, but these are the ones that are really solid for starting out on TikTok. The first one is going to be the engagement. This is anybody who's engaged with your actual TikTok ads. and we're gonna choose an actual click engagement campaign, meaning anybody who saw one of your TikTok ads, clicked on it, that means they're very engaged, and that data is very accurate because TikTok already has their information because they capture that info as somebody's clicking on your actual ad. So we're gonna go with click, and we're gonna choose 180 days. Now, if you're brand new to TikTok, you likely won't have 180 days worth of data, but the good thing is that this audience is always updating on a regular basis, and that is if we keep the auto refresh on. So in this case, we're gonna choose 180 days because if our campaigns are really successful, over time, our audience will continue to grow and our results are only gonna get better because we're filling up our retargeting bucket. Next thing we're gonna do is we're going to leave the all option on because we want all ad groups to fall into this actual retargeting. And then what we're gonna do is we're just gonna name this a click 180 day audience. And we know it's gonna be auto refreshed. If we turn this off, then that means it won't refresh the audience. It means it's gonna lock that exact number of users in place at that specific time. Then all we gotta do is just hit confirm. And once you hit confirm, that audience will populate, and then it'll actually tell you how many people are in that audience. In our case, we have about 10,959 users in it. And then that final audience we're gonna create is going to be an engagement. And instead of click this time, we're gonna choose video views 25%. That means they viewed at least 25% of the video, and people who viewed at least 25% are likely to be more qualified. And this is a good audience size for us to go after, because these people are more warm because they've already seen part of our video. So if we get them to watch the, more of it and actually interact with it, they're more inclined to actually make a purchase. So this is a little bit warmer of a retargeting audience for us. And in this case, we're gonna choose 30 days because we don't want this audience to be too big. Otherwise, we're gonna have to lose a lot of the quality in it. So it's more relevant when it's a shorter time frame if the audience size is gonna be much larger. And then what you'll do is actually name it video views, 25% watched, and then you'll do 30 days. And then you'll hit confirm, and that audience will be populated. In our case, we had about 135,000 people in that audience. That's a good amount of people. And once you've done that, you can go back to your TikTok Ads Manager and hit include, and those audiences will be there for you to actually add in. And then you just set your daily budget to that 20 marker to start, and that is all for the actual targeting options. Now, if any of this actually has you confused, if you got hung up on a specific spot, if you want to understand the actual creative performance, how to create the creatives, how to design them in a way that's actually going to increase your conversions, how to do additional, testing with your audiences, how to get a really high return on ad spend, we cover all of this in our TikTok Ads Expert course, where we actually go over exactly how to set up TikTok ads, how to actually get, views on your videos, how to go viral with our formula, how to design ads that convert and actually are scalable, how to get a very high return on ad spend so that way you can actually increase your overall revenue and maximize your overall profits. And this is really for any type of business owner, whether it's e-commerce, local ads, app installs. We've done all of the campaigns and have an immense amount of experience with this. And we designed our course in a way that is really focused on results. So if you're looking to become an absolute master at TikTok ads, then this is the course for you. Well, there you have it, a video that you can use post iOS 15 on a platform that has over 1 billion users, TikTok. It's a total blue ocean, and there's so much opportunity to scale up there. And I really appreciated you watching this video to the end. If you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe for weekly videos and like this video and comment down below what your thoughts are on the video. I really do appreciate it, and it truly does help the algorithm. So thank you so much. Cheers and bye, y'all.